त्वमेव विद्या
Om Namo Narayanaaya. Revered Swami Swatmaramanandaji Maharaj, Revered Swami Chandikanandaji Maharaj. Dear brothers and sisters, a warm and loving welcome to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class.
स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We shall begin the study by chanting 2 verses from the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. We were studying the 14th verse of the second chapter. Today we shall see from the 11th verse where Lord Krishna started his teaching, so that we will get an idea of what we are studying in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the first verse where Lord Krishna started his teaching, so that is the 11th verse. So there he tells Arjuna, when he refuses to fight, which was his duty, threw away his bow and arrow, then Lord Krishna started speaking and telling him about this Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavan uchya nanvashochastvam pragna vadamscha bhashase gatasun agatasunschа nanu shochanti panditaha. There Lord Krishna is telling, O Arjuna, you grieve, you are worrying for those who are not to be grieved. Yet you talk as if you are a great man of wisdom. Men of wisdom do not grieve neither for the living nor for the dead. Then in the next verse, that is the 12th verse, Krishna is telling, Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. Where Krishna is telling Arjuna, nor I, that is himself Lord Krishna, nor you, O Arjuna, nor any of these ruling princes, the Kauravas, or Bhishma, or Dronacharya, or anybody who have assembled here to fight, were ever non-existent. Here that means that they all existed, not as these bodies, as that individual person, but as the consciousness or as the Atman before. Nor is it that we shall cease to be in the future. Only this body will be destroyed, death will only overcome the body, but as spirit or as soul, they will still exist. Nor I, nor you, nor any of these ruling princes was ever non-existent before, nor is it that we shall cease to be in the future. Then bodies appear, but not so the Atman or God or the Paramatman, whichever is. So that is the permanent thing, eternal thing. Then the question may be raised as to how the Atman persists while the body perishes. Next verse, dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhiraha tatra na muhyate. As the indweller in the body experiences, he gives our day-to-day example. We experience childhood, we experience youth, middle age, old age in this body. So we pass on through all these stages. So he also passes on to another body after death. So the serene one is not affected thereby. So Krishna explained about the eternality, ever-existing nature of Atman and the temporary nature of the body, our bodies. Now, after this 13th verse, in the 14th verse which we are discussing, it's a very special verse which is replete with meaning. That's why, even though I have completed some 10 portion of the explanation of this 14th verse in the last 2 sessions, I have taken up the same thing again. So to give connection to that, so I went on explaining the other earlier verses. Now we shall chant these verses and see the simple meaning, then go to the deeper meaning, take the help of Swami Vivekananda, Sharadananda and other direct disciples, and try to understand this wonderful meaning of this verse, which is very helpful. So now we shall chant the 14th verse. Matra sparshastu kaunteya, Matra sparshastu kaunteya, Shitoshna sukha dukkadaha, Shitoshna sukha dukkadaha, Agamapayino adityaha, Agamapayino nityaha, Tam titikshasva bharata, Tam titikshasva bharata. Now, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna the contact of the senses. Now suddenly he is explaining why we experience misery, pleasure, sorrow and all the other things in this body, though we are Atman, we are in essence God who is infinite joy. Why is it? So Krishna is telling Arjuna the contact of the senses with their objects create, O son of Kunti, Arjuna, feeling of the dualities, heat and cold, of pain and pleasure. They come and they go. They are impermanent. Bear with them patiently, O Bharata, O Arjuna. So here Arjuna is called by different names. In the beginning he called him as son of Kunti. That was Arjuna. Now in the end of this verse he is calling Bharata, the best among the people who are in India. So he is calling him as Bharata, O Bharata. That is also Arjuna. Now let us go to a little interior of this wonderful verse. It is so helpful for our day-to-day life. Now Lord Krishna is telling the sense organs. What are the sense organs? The eye, the ear, the tongue, that is the mouth, the nose, the skin. These are the ones which come into contact with the outer external world. And what is coming to contact? Our mind. So through these windows or the doors, our mind is going out to this world and experiencing this external nature. So these sense organs such as the eye and the ear, etc., contact their objects which are form, sound, etc. The sensations caused this way are both favorable and unfavorable. If we like that sensation, then that brings joy. If we don't like that sensation, that will bring misery. So it gives us both favorable and unfavorable. That is noted here as heat and cold, Shita Ushna. And what will it give? Sukha Dukkha. Sukha means pleasure, that is joy. Dukkha means sorrow. The former feelings lead to pleasure, that is favorable condition. And the latter, that is unfavorable, it leads to pain. These feelings come along with sense contact. It is nothing to do with our true nature. All you feel, that pleasure, pain, everything is fleeting. It comes and goes. It is nothing to do with our real nature, which is always joyful, full of joy. Our true nature is infinite joy, absolute, infinite bliss, absolute, Ananda Swarupa. So these feelings, they come along with sense contacts, and the moment sense contact is over, they disappear. When the senses do not function, a sense object that gives pleasure at one time also can give pain at another time. Heat and cold may be cited as examples. The food that is delicious and inviting while one is in good health turns loathsome when in sickness. Pleasure and pain are therefore transitory, they are temporary. He who remains unaffected by them becomes firm in life. So, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, through Arjuna, all of us, to practice titiksha. So here we get a new word called titiksha. What is meant by titiksha? It is forbearance, the capacity to withstand the problems of this world, the challenges of this world, the external nature. So forbearance, that is a sure means to healthy mindedness. The practicer thereof is not affected by pleasure and pain. He becomes competent for enlightenment. So now we shall see the same verses which I chanted now explained by Swami Vivekananda. It will be a little forceful because Swami Vivekananda connects it to our day-to-day life. Now in the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, volume 1, page 46, so he's explaining about Bhagavad Gita. Swami Vivekananda, see, he's now telling, our Atman passes through youth, old age, so at death he merely passes into another kind of body. Why should a wise man be sorry? And where is the beginning of this emotionalism that has got hold of you, Arjuna? It is in the senses. This emotionalism is only in the senses. It is the touch of the senses that brings all this quality of existence, heat and cold, pleasure and pain. They come and go. Human beings are miserable this moment, happy the next. As such, he cannot experience the nature of the soul. Because of this, you cannot come into contact or identify yourself with your true nature, that is the Atman. What is causing the impediment? The contact of the senses of our mind rushing outwards. So in the Kathopanishad, Yama, the god of death, is teaching Nachiketa. He makes a wonderful statement there. What is that? Paranchikani vitrunat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. So he tells that all the indriyas, our senses, have been kept outwardly, outgoing. So our mind has been trained from the beginning to go outwards, to the outer world. But the Atman or God or Paramatman, Parabrahman is sitting within. All the senses are kept outgoing, but the Lord is sitting within. Since now they are going into touch with this external world, you cannot see your own true nature. That's why you feel pain, pleasure and all the problems of this world, but you do not know, you have forgotten your true nature. That is, you are eternal, you will never die, nobody can kill you, nobody can destroy you. That is the true nature of yours. You have forgotten that, you are not aware of it because Your mind has been kept in such a way to go outwards only. So Yamaraj, now he goes on to make another beautiful statement to Nachiketa. What is that? Kaschidhiraha. A few courageous human beings. What they do? Avrutta chakshuho amrutatvamichan. They will now, with great strength, transform or convert or take back those indriyas which is going outwards. They turn it inwards. Avrutta chakshu. Why? Amrutatvamichan. To seek immortality. That is your true nature. There is no death to you. That's what Kathopanishad tells. Now, Swami Vivekananda is telling that. That is the reason you forget your true nature, that you are eternal. All that thing has been forgotten, and you are always feeling this heat and cold, a pain and pleasure and everything, and get into misery because your senses are outgoing. As such, you cannot experience the nature of the soul. Now, Swami Vivekananda is connecting that to our life. Existence can never be non-existence. Neither can non-existence ever become existence. No, therefore, that which pervades all this universe is without beginning or end. It is unchangeable. That is your true nature. There is nothing in the universe that can change that changeless. Through this body, though this body has its beginning and end, the dweller in the body, that which is your true nature, is infinite and without end, says Vivekananda. So now Vivekananda is explaining the meaning and connecting it to the present day world so nicely in simple English. Knowing this, stand up and fight. Not one step back. That is the idea. So now Vivekananda is telling, Arjuna is being commanded there by Krishna to fight the battle. But what about us? To fight the battle of our life. What is our life? Swami Vivekananda tells, our life is a constant fight. What a kind of explanation. Vivekananda is telling that our life is a constant fight. With what? With nature, external and internal. So we have one thing called internal nature, our mind, our emotions and everything, and there is external nature. So we have to constantly fight with that and win. Now we will see what is that winning, fighting against that external nature and internal nature as we go forward. The moment we stop fighting, we die, says Vivekananda. So knowing this, stand up and fight. Not one step back. That is the idea. Fight it out. Whatever comes, let the stars move from the spear. Let the whole world stand against us. Death means only a change of garment. What of it? It is only change of a garment. This body, which is like a garment, old worn out garment, the Atman will cast it off to get a new garment. That is death, nothing else. So death means only a change of garment. Then why do you fear? Why are you afraid of it? What of it? Thus fight. You gain nothing by becoming cowards. Taking a step backward, you do not avoid any misfortune. If you run away, if you escape from the fight of this world, you will never avoid any misfortune, because misfortune will come in more increased quantity. You have cried all your life. Has your misery ceased? The masses in India cry and still they die like dogs. What happened? Your help will come when you get up and start fighting. Die game, this bending the knee to superstitions, this telling yourself to your own mind, does not befit you, my soul. You are infinite, deathless, birthless, because you are infinite spirit. It does not befit you to be slaves of your senses. Arise, awake, stand up and fight. Die if you must. There is none to help you. You are all the world who can help you. So beautifully, the same, whatever Krishna has told Arjuna, now that has been translated into simple English and made relevant to us now. It's so beautiful. Now again, we will take the help of Swami Vivekananda, where he explains about this yogi's way of overcoming that. Before that, we will study the same verse, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukhadukadaha, Agamapaino, Anityahtam Tidikshasva Bharata. From another angle, we will take up some angle of Buddhism. There is a school of thought in Buddhism. There are so many schools in that. In Buddhism, one school is they teach Vipassana. We will see what Vipassana will tell about, our Buddhistic teaching tell about the same very thing what Lord Krishna has told. So now see, if we have to put a nail or a stump into the ground or into the wood or somewhere, what do? They take a hammer and they will not hit. So that is called Sthunakkananyaya. So the logic by which you will put it inside through different angles. So that's why, to understand the same teaching of Lord Krishna from different perspective, we will take the help of Buddhism too here. Now, O son of Kunti, the contact between the senses and the sense objects gives rise to fleeting perceptions of happiness and distress. These are non-permanent and come and go like the winter and summer seasons. O descendant of Bharata, one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Now, the human body houses 5 senses. The senses of sight, that is our eyes, smell, nose, taste, our tongue, touch, skin, and hearing, the ears. And these, in contact with their objects in the external world of perception, gives rise to sensation of happiness and distress. None of these sensations is permanent. They come and go like the changing seasons. Although cool water provides pleasure in the summer, the same water gives distress in the winter. Thus, both the perceptions of happiness and distress experienced through the sense of they are transitory, temporary. If we permit ourselves to be affected by them, we will be swayed like a pendulum from side to side. A person of viveka, discrimination, the discerning power, who can know the difference between real and unreal, good and the bad, so that is viveka, should practice to tolerate both the feelings of happiness and distress without being disturbed by them. Now, the technique of Vipassana, self-realization in Buddhism, is based on this principle of tolerance of sense perception. Its practice, this meditation or Vipassana meditation, its practice helps eliminate desires. What is this desire? Which is the root cause of all suffering. According to Buddhism, Buddha tells our desires are the root cause of all miseries and sufferings. So, what is it telling, this Vipassana? It gives us, it states 4 noble truths. What are they? Yes, you should accept the truth of suffering. In this world, there is suffering. Why? Because of these senses. The truth of suffering. What is the second truth? The truth of origin of suffering. What is the third one? The truth of the cessation of suffering. And the truth of the path leading to the cessation. Now, what is that? The removal of all the desire is the cause of all suffering. So, now Buddhism also teaches about that. Krishna, even earlier to that, is given a wonderful way of how to come out of it. Now, we have heard a wonderful word called titiksha, forbearance. So let us give little mind towards that. What is this forbearance? I think you might have heard. In physics, there is a term called resilience. What is this resilience? In physics, resilience is the ability of an elastic material such as rubber or animal tissue or anything, so many, to absorb energy such as from a blow and release that energy as it springs back to its original shape. The recovery that occurs in this phenomena can be viewed as analogous to a person's ability to bounce back after a jarring setback in his life. Author P.G. Woodhouse took note of this when he wrote, "There is in certain human beings a quality of resilience, a sturdy refusal to acknowledge defeat, which aids them as effectively in affairs of the heart as it encounters of sterner and more practical kind." The word resilience derives from the present participle of the Latin verb resilire, means, so now with this, what is this? The definition of resilience, the capability of the strained body to recover its size and shape after deformation caused especially by to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Now that is resilience. Now here the word given is titiksha. So what is this titiksha? Shankaracharya in his wonderful work, what does it tells? Viveka Chudamani, the crushed jewel of discrimination, it tells Sahanam Sarvadukhanam. Worry? No. It tells, Shankaracharya tells Sahanam Sarvadukhanam Apratikara Purvakam. There should be no idea of taking revenge or going back and fighting, no resisting. Apratikara Purvakam. Chinta Vilaparahitam. No worries. Oh, what happened to me? Why was this difficulty come to me? Why did God punish me? Why did this person trouble me? So that is chinta. Vilapa. Oh, what has happened? This should have not happened to me. This could have given to somebody else. So we go on thinking vilapa, crying and wailing. So nothing of that sort. So withstanding all the troubles of your life, forbearing it without attitude of revenge, without attitude of worry, that resilience of yours when you have any trouble, coming back to your normal state equilibrium, so that is called titiksha. Now Krishna is telling, forbear all the problems because your true nature is eternal. You are blissful. These things come and go. Do not be swayed by that. So he uses the word titiksha. Sahanam sarvadukhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. Now let us understand this titiksha from our day-to-day point of life. So if we get into the words of Swami Vivekananda, we can understand about this titiksha. What is this? Now in yoga and in Vedanta, we have this system. So Vivekananda explains about that according to the Vedantic and yogic perspective. He tells in his complete works, then comes the next preparation. It is a very hard task to be a philosopher. Titiksha. The most difficult of all. It is nothing less than the ideal forbearance. Resist not evil. So this requires a little explanation. We may not resist an evil, but at the same time, we may feel very miserable. A man may say very harsh things to me, and I may not outwardly hate him for it, may not answer him back, and may restrain myself from apparently getting angry. But anger and hatred may be in my mind, and I may feel very badly towards that man. Outwardly I may not express it, but inwardly I will have the disturbance. So that disturbance also should not be there. That quality of forbearing is called titiksha. See how deep it is. This wonderful terminology is titiksha. You have to understand that. And it is explained by none other than Swami Vivekananda. So that is titiksha. I may not outwardly hate him for it. I may not answer him back. I may restrain myself from apparently getting angry, but anger and hatred may be in my mind, and I may feel very badly towards that man. This is not non-resistance. I should be without any feeling of hatred or anger, without any thought of resistance. My mind must then be as calm as if nothing has happened. And only when I have got to that state have I attained this titiksha or non-resistance, and not before that. Forbearance of all miseries without even a thought of resisting or driving it out, without even any painful feeling in the mind or any remorse. This is titiksha. See what a wonderful explanation and what a wonderful term, titiksha. Suppose Vivekananda tells, I do not resist, and some great evil comes thereby. If I have titiksha, I should not feel any remorse for not having resisted. When the mind has attained to that state, it has become established in titiksha. And then Swami Vivekananda tells, people in India do extraordinary things in order to practice the titiksha. They bear tremendous heat and cold without caring. They do not even care for snow. I had shown a video when I was explaining this about this in Johannesburg. I had shown a video which was taken by some of the military personnels who are staying in the Himalayas during the winter, when that is full of ice everywhere in the Chinese border in the Himalayas. The military personnel who were there with all their cold dressing equipments and dresses, because everywhere it is ice and ice and ice. It may be minus 30, minus 40. There they saw a sadhu just wearing one lion cloth, going about, walking without any shoes, nothing, no gloves, not even a cloth on his body, only a one lion cloth. Is just moving about here and there, sitting in that ice. Other people with all the equipments, they will have frostbite and by lose their nose, they will lose their fingers and they die, and so many things happen. But this sadhu joyously is rolling in ice, sitting there meditating. They have taken that video. I showed that video also. So it is not just hearsay, or it is not just imagination. So Vivekananda is telling, there are people in India, what they do, they bear tremendous heat and cold without caring. They do not even care for snow, because they take no thought for the body. It is left to itself as if it were a foreign thing. So Vivekananda is giving by that example. And we have seen in the life of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. What is that? When he went to Kashi, he met that great sadhu living there in Kashi. He was called Living Shiva. Who was he? Trilinga Swami. So many things are told about him. Ramakrishna explains that he would float in Ganga in the cold water winter, and he would be sleeping on the hot sand in the summer. The heat of that summer, 48 degrees, 50 degrees, heat wave, people will be dying like birds and animals and insects. But here, this sadhu in that heat will be sleeping on the hot sand in the summer without any dress or anything, just there. And Rama's master met him, and he would be sleeping in the water, Ganga water, in that cold water, floating there. So master himself had seen. Swami Vivekananda had seen that person. So he's mentioning about that. All these sadhus, they live in the Himalayas. So that is titiksha. How do they get it? By identifying themselves with the Atman, not with the body. They know that we are not the body. They are separated from the body. Any more examples? So many examples are there. Swami Turiyanandaji himself, I give that example many a times. And Ramana Maharshi himself, I have given that example too. What happened to Turiyanandaji? He was the direct disciple, Turiyanandaji. When he was staying there in Haridwar and other places, he had developed diabetes and carbuncle had formed on his back. The doctor came to do the surgery. So at that time there was no anesthesia, or there was no anesthesiology. At the most, the only anesthesia found at that time was chloroform. So they used to administer chloroform and they used to be unconscious, then they used to do the surgery, cut and other things. Here he wanted to administer this only anesthesia, chloroform, but Turiyanandaji told, it's not necessary. I will take away my mind from that place, you operate it. The doctor took the knife and start cutting that carbuncle on the back, and Swami Yatishwaranandaji, who was next, who became the vice president and the guru, who initiated Mantra Diksha to most revered Gautamaanandaji Maharaj. He was there as the brahmachari watching this scene, the surgery, helping the doctor there, seeing the blood and that cut and everything. He swooned, he became unconscious. He fell down unconscious. But Swami Turiyanandaji, whose back is being cut, the carbuncle which is being removed, not even a twitch on his face. He's sitting there calm and quiet. Titiksha. I'm not the body. I'm the Atman. Identification with the Atman. So the whole thing was cut, bandaged, and Swamiji was waiting. After 2 days, the doctor came again. He came to dress the wound again. He came and touched the wound. Swamiji shouted in pain. Oh, sorry, Swamiji. I didn't mean to put you into pain. No. Don't worry about it. My mind was there in that place, so I felt the pain. My mind was in the senses, so I felt the pain. I will take away my mind from that place. You now start dressing. So he took away his mind. See, his mind and senses are under his control. He has got that sense control and mind control. Why are we in pain? Because we don't have the sense control and the mind control. That's why we suffer. So these are all not impractical. They are all practical things which happened in the life of the great people, and it is an example here. Then he bandaged it. Swamiji was quite there. And it was noticed by none other than Yatishwaranandaji. He has also recorded it. It comes in the life. If you want, you read the life of Swami Turiyanandaji Maharaj, you can note these incidents. Then you can read the life of Ramana Maharshi, the great saint who lived in Tiruvannamalai in the temple. So he meditated and meditated in the temple. Somewhere in the corner, that place is still maintained there. In the mud, he's sitting there. The ant, the termites are eating his leg. He doesn't care. He's sitting in meditation, in deep meditation. And after that, in the old age, he developed cancer to the bones in the left hand. Then he didn't take, at that time maybe there was anesthesia there. He didn't take the anesthesia. He told, he just gave this left hand for the doctor to operate as if that was some other part or some nut and bolt. He gave that hand. He was happily talking to others. The operation was being performed on without any anesthesia. He's not feeling the pain. Ramana Maharshi, it comes in his life. It is there in his life. So these are all true. It has happened. Even you, because if it can happen with Turiyanandaji, if it can happen with them, it can happen with us and you too, because your true nature is Atman. You are not the body. It is just an instrument given to you. Because you have identified through the ego with this body, you feel the pain, you feel the suffering, you are undergoing so much of problem. So now that is titiksha. Now let us hear about the titiksha little more. What is that? Next come titiksha, forbearance. Swami Vivekananda tells, bearing all miseries without murmuring, without complaining. When an injury comes, do not mind it. If a tiger comes and stands there, who flies? Again, Swami Turiyanandaji himself cites in his life when he was sitting there in the Himalayas on the bank of the river Mandakini or Alakananda or whichever tributary of Ganga, and sitting and meditating. On the other side of the Ganga, he saw another sadhu was sitting and meditating. So in that forest, the tiger came. It was hungry. It caught hold of this sadhu's neck, broke the neck of the sadhu, and it was dragging him to eat him. And what was the sound? Was he shouting for life, crying for life? No, Turiyanandaji sees it. He saw with his own eyes that sadhu was shouting, I am not the body, I am the Atman, I am the Parabrahman, I don't have the body, I am not the body, I am the Atman, I am the Parabrahman, was the words which was coming out of that sadhu. seen by Swami Turiyanandaji. So there are people who have practiced that. They have full sense control. It has happened and it can happen. It can happen with you. But only thing, you have to practice it. You have to take the control. Why do we feel the pain? Because we identify with the senses. It goes out, we feel the pain. Once you withdraw that is called in yoga, Raja Yoga, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha. I'll explain about Shama, how to withdraw, Dama and all that thing. In the next class, I will give you a brief. I can't go to the deeper aspects of yoga because there's Bhagavad Gita class. I will just give a brief bird's eye view of the yoga. What is about this Shama, the mind control, the sense control and all that thing. This is now we are talking about Titiksha. If a tiger comes, stand there. Who flies? There are men who practice Titiksha and succeed in it. There are men who sleep on the banks of Ganga in the midsummer sun of India, and in winter float in the water of the Ganga for the whole day. They do not care. Men sit in the snow in the Himalayas, says Swami Vivekananda, and do not care to wear any garment. What is heat? What is cold? Let things come and go. What is that to me? I am not the body. It is hard to believe for you people who have come up in the Western countries. See, Swami Vivekananda is telling, you will not believe it. Why? Because you have been raised in the Western standards. You don't have. So that is true with us too. Now, Vivekananda himself is telling it is hard to believe, isn't it? In these Western countries. Why is it? Because, but it is better to know that it is done. Just as you people, that is the Western people, are brave to jump at the mouth of a cannon. Your Queen Elizabeth or something, Victoria has commanded, you are ready to go and put your body in front of the cannon and the bullets, isn't it? Is that not Titiksha? So you only do that for gold, money and other things. But our sadhus in India, they do it for attaining higher spiritual life. That's the only difference, tells Swami Vivekananda. That's all. See? But it is better that you people in the West, that it is done. Just as you people in the West are brave to jump at the mouth of a cannon or into the midst of the battlefield, so our people are brave, our Indian people are brave to think and act out their philosophy. It is not just philosophy, it is practicable. They give up their lives for it. I am existence, I am knowledge, I am bliss absolute, I am He, I am He. Just as the Western ideal is to keep up luxury in practical life, so ours, that is Indians, the Hindus, is to keep up the highest form of spirituality, to demonstrate that religion is not merely frothy words, but can be carried out, even every bit of it in this life. This is Titiksha. To bear everything, not to complain of anything. Vivekananda is telling, I myself have seen men who say, I am the soul. What is this universe to me? Neither pleasure, nor pain, nor virtue, nor vice, nor heat, nor cold is anything to me. This is Titiksha. Swami Vivekananda himself met that great Ramayata sadhu in Uttar Pradesh when he went as an itinerant monk. Who was that? Pavahari Baba. Why did he get that name Pavahari Baba? Because people saw he would not eat anything. So how did he survive? They thought that he is eating only air. Pavahari Baba. Pava means air. Hari means one who takes, consumes. So he got that name Pavahari Baba because he would not eat anything at all. But how could he survive without eating? That's why he got the name Pavahari Baba. For days together, months together, he would be in the cave and he would not take anything. So that person was a great devotee of Rama, stayed there. Even I had visited his ashram when I went to Uttar Pradesh, to all that places near Kashi. I had visited that Pavahari Baba in Ghazipur, in Uttar Pradesh. I visited that ashram. So now, this Swamiji, when he was there, our Swami Vivekananda had seen that what is that, and he tells in his life, he mentions that a poisonous snake cobra bit him. And you know, it is so painful. The fangs of the snake will be needle sharp. It will be quite big. And if it bites, the physical pain will be immense. And after that, it injects powerful poison into the body. That will be still painful. So now he has been bitten by that cobra. And what was the reaction? He tells, the snake brought a message from my Lord Ramachandra, was the retort from him. The snake brought a message from my Lord Ramachandra, was the reaction of that great Sadhu Pavahari Baba when the snake bit him. If you want to read in the life of Vivekananda and many other things, it comes. Lord Ramachandra sent a message to me through that snake. Titiksha. Forbearance, resilience. Everybody has that capacity. If Pabahari Baba has it, you too have it. Then why can't we? You have not practiced it. You have not tried it. You don't have the patience to try it, that's all. So that is Titiksha. See, so wonderful things are there in our religion. I am the soul. I am the, what is this universe to me? Neither pleasure nor pain. Okay, let me explain about this, undergoing this Titiksha. This is from at a very big height, isn't it? We were talking now at a very topmost point, that is sublime. Now let me give you the example of Titiksha at the ridiculous level. So from sublime to ridiculous and ridiculous to sublime. I'll give you an example, wonderful example. I've given it many times earlier, but it's a very beautiful example of this Titiksha, but in our day-to-day life. What is that? You may be knowing the CEO of Google, Chrome. Who is he? An Indian, again from Tamil Nadu. What is his name? Sundar Pichai. So Pichai means, do you know what is the meaning of Pichai in Tamil? Pichaya means a madcap. Picha means mad in Tamil. So Pichai is his name. Sundar. In India, they keep such names too. So his name is Sundar Pichai. So what is he telling? This is cockroach theory of Sundar Pichai. His theory, he made a theory called cockroach theory. See, the name of that theory is also very special. A beautiful speech by Sundar Pichai, an IIT, MIT alumnus and global head Google Chrome. The cockroach theory of self-development. What is that? At a restaurant, now he was sipping a cup of coffee. He saw there were a group of ladies. A cockroach suddenly flew from somewhere and sat on a lady, that group of ladies. You know what will be the reaction of the ladies if the cockroach comes, shrieking, shouting everywhere. It's not only in South Africa, not only in the West, in India, everywhere, that will be the same reaction. So at a restaurant, a cockroach suddenly flew from somewhere and sat on that lady. She started screaming out of fear. With a panic-stricken face and trembling voice, she started jumping with both her hands, desperately trying to get rid of that cockroach. Her reaction was contagious. How? As everyone in her group, the other ladies, they also started, they don't know the reason. She started screaming. These, you have seen that in the schools and in the high schools also the same thing with all the girls and this thing, it will be the same thing. So the group also started jumping, panicking. So now her reaction was contagious as everyone in her group also got panicky. The lady finally managed to push the cockroach away, but it landed on another lady in the group. Now it was the turn of the other lady in the group to continue the drama. The waiter who was seeing all these things, the waiter, he rushed. There, finally, what did he do? He came. Now it was the turn of the waiter. He rushed forward to the rescue. In the relay of throwing the cockroach, that cockroach flew, next fell upon that waiter. Now the waiter stood firm, composed himself, and observed the behavior of the cockroach on his shirt. When he was confident enough, he grabbed it with his fingers and he threw it out of the restaurant. Now Sundar Pichai is watching all these things, sipping my coffee and watching the amusement. The antenna of my mind picked up a few thoughts and started wondering, was the cockroach responsible for this histrionic behavior? If so, before that I will tell one more cockroach story. What is that? Suddenly, one man with lot of big mustache and very strong man, he wanted to kill that cockroach. He went about to smash it, kill it. Then the cockroach stood up and told, "Stop." I told, "Why you are stopping me? You are a coward." "Why am I a coward?" "You are afraid of your wife." "Why am I afraid of my wife?" "No, you are jealous of me." "Why should I be jealous of you?" "Because I can threaten your wife, you can't, that's why." So now we will continue the old cockroach theory of self-development by Sundar Pichai. Now Sundar Pichai, who was watching, who is the CEO, even now he is the CEO of Google Chrome, he's telling, in the restaurant, sipping my coffee and watching the amusement, the antenna of my mind picked up a few thoughts and started wondering, was the cockroach responsible for their histrionic behavior? If so, then why was the waiter in that restaurant not disturbed? Why was he calm and quiet? Why the histrionic behavior only by these ladies? Now, if so, then why the waiter did not get disturbed? He handled it near to perfection without any chaos. It is not of those people to handle the disturbance caused by the cockroach that disturbed the ladies or anybody for that sake. Now Sundar Pichai is telling, I realized that it is not the shouting of my father or mother or wife or husband or boss that disturbs anybody, but it is my inability to handle the disturbances caused by their shouting that disturbs me. See, what wonderful lessons we have, titiksha, at the ordinary level, at the ridiculous level, titiksha at the ordinary level. So it is not the traffic jam or the shouting of the wife or the husband or the children or the boss or anything, but it's the inability to handle the disturbances caused by the traffic jam that disturbs me. Not the shouting. More than the problem, it is my reaction to the problem that creates chaos in your or anybody's life. So, what is the conclusion of Sundar Pichai? He tells, lesson learned from that story. I understood that I should not react in life. Then what should I do? I should always respond. What is the difference between react and respond? Reaction is instinctive. Animals react. Suddenly, it is what you call reflex action. Suppose you touch a hot body or electricity or a shock, immediately you are not thinking and slowly removing it. It happens, that is reflex action. It's reflexive. So our reaction is reflexive. So we should not react to the situation. Then what? Respond. What is response? Well thought of. So that is a respond. So I learned that day, I understood that I should not react in life. I should always respond, because the response is always well thought of. The woman there reacted, but the waiter responded. Reactions are always instinctive, whereas responses are always well thought of. A beautiful way to understand life. Persons who are happy is not because everything is right in their life. They too have difficulties. But the person is happy because his attitude towards everything is right in his life. He is happy because his attitude towards everything in his life is right. So see, titiksha at the ordinary day-to-day level. So titiksha at higher spiritual level is also there. See, by Bhagavad Gita, by the teaching of Krishna, we can get wonderful things. Titiksha, sahanam sarva dukkhana, undergo, withstand, bear, How? By changing your attitude, by thinking more on the reality that is God, identifying with that. I gave the example in the last class. And what is that example which I gave in the last session? The example was the grinding stone in olden days. If you go to the museum, the India History Center, that thing has been kept there. In olden days, they used to have these grinding stones. 2 stones would be there, circular stones. So the center, there would be a wooden peg which will be holding that so that it doesn't move here and there. That because of that center peg, the whole thing is static and you can roll it like this. There will be another wooden stalk here on the edge. So they will put it inside that hole and they will grind it like this. So at the center again, there is a hole to put the grains so that it goes in between and it crushes when it is turned like this. So then it goes to the other side. If you want semolina, you can make semolina. If you want flour out of that rice flour or dal flour or powder, if you do more, it becomes powder, flour. If you do less, it becomes semolina. That's how semolina was done in olden days, like that. So that was a beautiful exercise for the ladies in the house. I had seen in our Purvashrama, in the houses, this used to do all that thing, semolina. In the house itself, they used to do like this. Not packed and got from the industries. They used to prepare it in the house. So they used to do it. So Master Ramakrishna gives this example in the gospel. This world is like that grinding machine. So the center which is holding everything is God. In this example, Master is telling this grinding machine is like that this world, universe, and the center is God. The grains, when put into the center, which stays at the center near God, do not get crushed under these rolling stones. The more they go away from God, the grains, the rice or the grains or any other dal, whatever, which does not go away from God, the center, get crushed and powdered or get into semolina. But those grains which stay near the center will not get caught in between these grinding stone of the world. They will not be crushed and they will be as they are without any problems. What a beautiful example by Master in the gospel. It is there in the gospel. So like that, titiksha here is, the more you stay near God, the more you identify with God, your true nature, understanding the true nature, then you don't have the suffering. The more you give up God and go away into the world and get into all the miseries and problems and enjoyments of the world, you will get only miseries and sufferings and pain. You will be crushed like that. What a beautiful example by Master. So we will further think about this. We will, in the next class 2 session, I'll take up the same verse, because in the first class itself we got so many wonderful ideas. Somehow that first class was not recorded. Whatever that might be, that may be the will of the Lord. So today also we have got wonderful ideas about titiksha and how to face our life. What is this miseries? Why is it happening? Krishna is so beautifully, logically, scientifically giving us, and how we can overcome that. We have understood through the words of Swami Vivekananda, and all the beautiful, wonderful ideas came to us. So let us think, take it deeply into our mind, apply that into our life, day-to-day life. Then we can enjoy our life. Apply it. The thing is, we forget. We come here, hear those things and forget. That's why again punar mushiko bhava, back to square one. The moment we go outside, we will chit chat, bring all the world inside. We will go giving the center, we will go away to the crushing machine and get crushed nicely into powder. The moment you go out of the class here, go to the dining hall and hear the conversation there, no Gita, no titiksha, nothing. All about the world will come. Because I've seen in the dining hall itself, the moment we go out of the thing, all is forgotten. Again, you have to get into that crushing mode and problem mode and misery mode. So because the more you go away from God, the more the suffering. The more you are nearer to God, less the suffering. With one wonderful statement of Holy Mother Sharda Devi. What is that? Ishta. Ishta means chosen deity. Smaran Takle. If you always think of the Ishta, that is God, your Ishta Devata, Anishta kotay teke ashpe. Where will the difficulties come to you? How can the difficulties come to you? If you think of God, if you are thinking of God, where can any difficulty come to you? Ishto smarantakle anishta kotay teke ashpe. Mother's saying. So if you have Ishta always in your mind, if you're thinking of God and not the worldly things, then Anishta, that is the suffering and miseries, cannot come. See, we can connect everything, the teachings of Master, the teachings of Krishna, the teachings of Swami Vivekananda, and slowly apply it into our life. Then at every step of our life, we can take it as a game with a spirit of sports. That's called sportive spirit. See, the children go to the games, sports every day. They win, they will not win, they will lose every day. But the next day they are ready to run. Why? They are not bothered about the result. They are only bothered about enjoying every bit of the game. That is Karma Yoga. That is thing. That is the sportive spirit. This whole play, this world is a play of God. If you keep God with you always, every second you can enjoy. The moment you forget God, the moment you go away from God, this becomes too serious and painful. That's the difference. So now let us apply, think of it, teachings of Krishna, get it by heart. Every time you get into difficulty, if you have these verses in your memory, then it comes up, swells up, and the difficulty can be forgot. What is that? Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukadukkadaha agama apayino anityaha tam titikshasva bharata. Forbear, forbear, forbear. Krishna is telling, do not grieve, do not worry, do not worry, do not worry, forbear, forbear. Think of God, think of your true nature. What wonderful things. Now we will conclude our this Gita session with the one of the meditation verses of Gita. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yatkripatamaham vande paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. This meditation verse itself is explaining Mukam Karoti Vachalam. A dumb person who can't even talk can become a great lecturer or a orator. Mukam Karoti Vachalam. He can become a great lecturer, orator, a dumb person. A lame person who doesn't have leg. So Pangam Langhayate Girim can be made to jump a mountain. How? Yat Kripatamaham Vande. If we have the grace of the Lord, even the lame person can cross the mountain. Even a dumb person can become a great orator. What is required, necessary thing is grace of the Lord. Mukam karoti vachalam phangum langayate girim yat kripa. If you are grace, tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. O Lord Krishna, if we have your grace, we can achieve anything. So that's the message.